As we inch closer to the home stretch of Season 11, it's time to update you guys on the best champions to escape low elo the fastest. To be completely clear, you can climb with any champion. However, these are the picks our analysts believe will provide you with the most consistent success if you put in the time. Heavy emphasis on consistency, as you need to be disciplined and stick to a select few champions to see the best results. If climbing ranked quickly sounds good to you, then we'll be covering 3 champs for each role that will allow you to do just so. But before we get into it, be sure to check out SkillCapped if you want to truly get better at League of Legends. We're the only service that offers a money-back guarantee if you don't climb at least 5 divisions while actively using our service. We do this because our service really does work, and if it doesn't work for you, you shouldn't pay. Learn more at the end of this video or click the link in the description for a special discount. Alright, with all that said, let's get started. Kicking it off up in the top lane, our first recommendation is a new pick that has emerged as of recent. Lilia is super broken and the perfect champion to climb low elo from the top lane. Lilia dunks on all the most played top laners like Sett, Tahm Kench, Garen, and Nasus. These melee picks that lack a gap closer are played so much in the lower ranks, and with Lilia's poke and kiting power, she obliterates them in lane. Not only does Lilia have a superb laning phase, but her impact come mid to late game teamfights is ridiculously strong. Sure, you can play other ranged top laners like Teemo or Vayne and destroy lane, but Lilia can do the same, yet offers so much more come crunch time. Build versatility allows you to adapt to each game and counter certain comps extremely hard. When snowballing, you can opt for the Liandry's into Demonic Embrace and Zhonya's build. Against heavy AD comps, building a more sustained setup of Frozen Heart into Riftmaker and Zhonya's will make the enemy team rethink their choice of champions. Runepage is Conqueror with Presence of Mind, Tenacity, and Last Stand. For secondaries, grab Bone Plating and Unflinching. A few direct buffs from 11.18 have pushed Urgot back up the tier list and is a highly valuable low elo pickup. Urgot's early laning phase against meta top laners is super strong. He's very simple to pilot and becomes extremely tanky while being able to output lots of damage. E-Start level 1 gives you immense trading potential as soon as the lane phase starts, allowing you to chunk the opponent out for a level 2 all-in. You don't even need to hit the stun from E, it's mainly the shield and being able to proc your passive which gives you the edge up. Once you complete Titanic Hydra and Black Cleaver, your dueling power is super nuts. Both items tie into Urgot's kit perfectly. E-Shield has a 15% bonus health ratio, and with Titanic and Cleaver providing 950 health total, that adds another 142 shielding onto E. The more health you build, the more damage you'll deal as well due to the Titanic Hydra passive. Third item to round out the core build is a Frostfire Gauntlet. Press the attack works way too well with Urgot's W to pass up on. Follow with Triumph, Tenacity, and Last Stand for primary runes, run Conditioning and Overgrowth for secondaries. And for our third top lane recommendation, we have Yorick. Yorick is top 3 on our list due to his ability to obliterate in the split push. Low elo players have a much more difficult time playing around side lanes and rotating correctly, which allows Yorick to solo win games from his side lane pressure. Now, you might ask, well, why not just play someone like Fiora or Jax if you're looking for a split pusher? And it's simply due to the fact Yorick can accomplish the same without any skill required. Landing E consistently is really the only mechanical aspect of Yorick that may take a while to get used to, but his point-and-click low cooldown Q combined with Mistwalkers and Maiden let you smash the 1v1 with ease. Hullbreaker Edition makes Yorick's split power even better now as well. If enemy team doesn't respond to your split, then the ability for you to knock down multiple towers in a short amount of time is remarkable. Core build is Divine Sunderer into Hullbreaker 2nd and Cyrilda's Grudge or Sterix 3rd. Cyrilda's is a very underrated item on Yorick, as the slow from passive has insane synergy with Yorick's Mistwalkers, which will provide you perma-sticking power. Pick up Grasp as the keystone with Demolish, Bone Plating, and Overgrowth. Overheal and Bloodline are most optimal secondaries. Every low elo jungler should have Amumu in their champion pool for end of season. Amumu has one of the strongest teamfights for any jungler, can build full tank and deal great damage, and has so many more options with 2 Q charges. Amumu's ganks are way better now, his engage potential has gone up, and your ability to stick onto targets is massive. One big factor that holds Amumu back in higher elo is his weaker early skirmish, but that's not much of an issue for the lower ranks. Junglers will punish you way less, which allows for an easy scale into the mid game where you'll be more useful than 99% of meta picks. Multi-man ult plays are game changers and you'll win so many teamfights by themselves. Having that second Q charge enables you to lock down a high priority target for a longer duration in teamfights, which gives you even more potential than before. You have versatility in regards to build paths, which allows you to adapt nicely to each game. Sunfire is standard rush, but Demonic, Abyssal, or Thornmail are viable second and third options depending on the situation. Conqueror is Amumu's best keystone with Triumph, Tenacity, and Last Stand. Roll with Cheap Shot and Ravenous Hunter for secondaries. Our second jungle recommendation is another godlike team fighter in Jarvan. You got a little bit of everything when it comes to J4, as his early gank potential is amazing, pick power is some of the best in the game, and one AoE ult can shift momentum in an instant. Level 2 and level 3 ganks are super potent. In games where your bot lane has a pick tool from level 1 like a Blitz or Nautilus hook, then take red and path straight bot for free kills. Playing around whichever lane will give you the best gank setup is how you're going to see the most success on J4. Mid-game, it's all about finding pick plays with your long-range engage. EQ combo followed by Flash ult can teleport you extremely fast, so catching out priority targets when they are alone is really free. Build of Gore Drinker and Asterix gives you a ton of durability with a great mix of damage. Guardian Angel third item is usually most optimal. Rune Page is Conqueror with Triumph, Alacrity, and Coup de Grace. Best secondaries are Free Boots and Cosmic Insight. One of the most broken junglers for low elo that many players are sleeping on is Trundle. Trundle takes no skill to play and chomps on the most played junglers in low elo. 8 of the 10 most played low elo junglers are AD, and Trundle having the ability to steal their AD from simply pressing Q is crazy strong. Early game skirmish into picks like Kayn, Master Yi, and Lee Sin is amazing, which gives you double crab potential and the ability to run away with the game. Make sure you're paying attention to side lanes when looking for those crabs though. This goes for any jungler, but especially for someone like Trundle who really wants to early skirmish. If you notice your bot lane being shoved in, then trying to fight the enemy jungler for crab is just suicide. Sack that crab and run over to top side for the higher percent play. Every champion that we've featured so far is either tank or bruiser mix, and Trundle is no exception. Champions that can get really tanky but still output high DPS are very consistent for the lower elos. The build will be a Divine Sunder or Rush into Titanic Hydra second and either Sterix or Thornmail third. When against AP, favor Sterix, and versus heavy AD, grab Thornmail. Press the attack as your keystone with Triumph, Tenacity, and Coup de Grace. Best secondaries are Free Boots and Cosmic Insight. Just before we jump over to mid lane, let us know what your end of season ranked goal is. Are you looking to make that final push up to gold? Do you have diamond in your sights? We'd love to hear where everyone's at down in the comments below. Heading on to the mid lane, Graves is a monster pick for low elo that flies heavily under the radar. Graves' Q was nerfed a few patches back, but that hasn't stopped him from being an oppressive lane bully into meta picks. True Grit from E gives you free armor for fighting, which makes Graves an amazing pick into champs like Yone and Zed, who are the two most played low elo mids. Regardless of armor from E, the mobility the spell provides allows you to dodge skill shots with ease and to outplay your opponent. For example, if Yone has his third Q charged up and is ready to go in, you can bait him, dodge with E to the side, and then proceed to melt him with your shotgun pellets. Not only can you smash the enemy in the 1v1, but your ability to perma-shove waves and rotate to help your jungler get ahead is massive. Help your jungler secure both crabs, and you'll have a winning mid-jungle tandem, which is hard to beat. Core build is Eclipse Rush into Ghostblade second. Ghostblade is such a sleeper item after its buffs and gives you extreme snowball power once purchased. For runes, take Electrocute with Sudden Impact, Eyeball Collector, and Relentless Hunter. Optimal secondaries are Absolute Focus and Gathering Storm. There's really just one simple rule when it comes to climbing low elo from the mid lane, and that is to lock in Annie. Nobody does it better than Annie in regards to helping you learn the fundamentals of League and actually become a better player. Kit is extremely simplistic, which allows you to focus on the macro aspects of the game, which is most important for consistent success. Just take Tyler 1 for example. His mechanics are rather interesting to say the least, but he spammed Annie mid and got Challenger in no time. You can have the most god-awful mechanics, but no solid macro, and easily climb to Diamond only playing Annie. Focus on securing as much CS as possible in lane with Q. Annie Q resets on minion kills, so you don't even have to auto-attack, which means you should really not be missing farm. It's definitely good to be able to farm with autos though, as saving the threat of your Q stun to zone an enemy off CS is a highly valuable strategy. Once you hit level 6 and transition into the mid game, your main focus should be around controlling objectives and finding picks from Fog of War. The Fog of War is your best friend on Annie, since if the enemy face checks into you, it's a guaranteed kill due to the point-and-click burst you have. There are lots of options in regards to Annie's build, as you can choose between Luden's or Rocket Belt as the mythic. Zanya's second and Rabadon's third is standard for most games. Take Electro for the Keystone and abuse your auto-Q auto combo against melees to chunk them early on. Cheap Shot, Eyeball Collector, and Relentless Hunter round out primaries, while Celerity and Scorch are your secondaries. And to complete the trifecta of mid lane picks, third up is Malzahar. Game-changing pick tool, AoE silence, and permashove post-lost chapter buy are a few things that make Malz so reliable. You can be 0 for 5, inting the entire laning phase, but come mid-game fights, use ult on that 10-0 Yasuo and end up more impactful when everything's said and done. Of course, going 0 for 5 is never ideal, but it's just to point out that Malz can always be impactful, which makes him a consistent low elo stomper. Game plan early on should be to farm up to lost chapter buy. From that point forward, you can permashove waves and look for pick plays with ult. Surviving until level 6 is the only real test with Malz. Running teleport is a great strategy so that you can get back to lane and not miss any farm if you get poked out. Similar to Annie, playing around Fog of War and controlling vision for pick plays is how you close games out when ahead. Get to dragons 1 minute before they spawn, chill in a bush with your pink ward, and when the enemy squishy walks in alone, take them down with a full combo. Core build is Liandry's into Rylai's second and Demonic Embrace third. Aerie is Malz's best keystone with Mana Flow, Transcendence, and Scorch. Run Magical Footwear and Cosmic Insight for secondaries. If there's ever a time to spam MF to climb low elo, it is right now. After an ultimate buff in 11.18 and her new Broken Lethality build surfacing, MF has seen a dramatic increase in strength. Lethality setup makes your ultimate hurt extremely hard in teamfights, which is where MF is at her best. If you can pull off just one nice multi-man ult play each game, it can shift momentum in an instant. Running Comet as the keystone amplifies your early lane pressure, as you'll start E and spam that out for free damage. Keep in mind you want to max Q first though, it's just E that you start level 1. Mana Flow, Transcendence, and Scorch round out primaries, while Freeboots and Biscuits are for secondaries. The build is an Eclipse or Ghostblade rush into whichever you didn't purchase first, pick up second, and then Cyrilda's Grudge third. Ghostblade is the more snowball-y rush option, while Eclipse gives you more durability. Following right behind MF as another consistent hard carry low elo pick is Ashe. Providing your team with more than just damage is a major perk to have when playing ADC. Ashe, ult, and E are second to none in that regard. Being able to scout where the enemy jungler is early on and provide vision before moving towards objectives in the mid-game helps your team out tremendously. If you can hit a couple good arrows in the mid-game, that's really all it takes to be effective on Ashe. You can literally deal no damage at all, but pick off that high priority target with ult and win games single-handedly. Let's not forget, Ashe is able to abuse one of the most broken item combinations there is right now, being a shield bow into Wit's End. One of Ashe's major weaknesses has been shored up quite nicely from this setup, as she can survive for way longer, which helps make up for lack of gap closer. Hail of Blades is the keystone with Cheap Shot, Eyeball Collector, and Ravenous Hunter. Roll with Biscuits and Approach Velocity for secondaries. Due to all the heavy AD composition spammed in the lower ranks, it's vital to have an AP bot laner in your champion pool. Ziggs remains in a great state and is our third bot lane pick for end of Season 11. A major perk to locking Ziggs is that he's way less reliant on having a good support to succeed. If your support's a boosted monkey, you can still play the game, as farming with Q from max range allows you to stay even in CS. On the flip side, laning with a Leona or Nautilus is extremely free, as you hit level 6, combo off their CC, and one-shot the enemy ADC. Once you complete Lost Chapter, you have the ability to perma-shove and start collecting tower plates. After destroying the enemy bot tower, rotate around the map, pick up even more plate gold, and snowball out of control. Complete Ziggs build is Liandry's into Archangels and Zanya's. Comet is the keystone with Mana Flow, Transcendence, and Scorch. Run Freeboots and Biscuits for secondaries. Soraka has made a serious charge back into meta after her 11.18 change and will be our first low elo support recommendation. Mid to late game, there are few other supports I'd want to have on my team in the current meta. Soraka Ultimate Cleansing Grievous Wounds before healing makes your 5v5 absolutely insane. A core build of Moonstone into Redemption and Warmogs is free wins if you can hit the spike. All the healing coming out of W and Redemption, combined with being able to dip out of combat and heal up whenever needed from Warmogs, makes your extended fight potential the best for any support. Stay safe in the backline, heal your teammates throughout a fight, and collect your free elo. Guardian works best for Soraka's Keystone, followed by Font of Life, Bone Plating, and Revitalize. It's really disgusting as to how much survivability you can provide for your carries, and Guardian adds another layer to that. Secondary runes are Nimbus Cloak and Celerity. Our second pick is a change of pace from the more supportive style of Soraka to a high DPS damage-oriented Zyra. Who needs an AD carry anyways when you can 100-0 squishies at level 6 by yourself with a full combo? This is something that makes Zyra extremely reliable, as you can make plays happen without needing your teammates to follow up. Remember to max E out first instead of Q. We see too many low elo Zyra players prioritizing the Q max when E is more optimal. E root duration doubling and damage going up by a ton helps you capitalize on your pick plays much better. Look to set up around objectives well before they spawn, get some passive seeds down, and zone the enemy with plants as they walk in. Ultimate is such an amazing teamfight tool and can be used to peel for carries when the enemy dives in or to follow up on your teammate's hard engage. Core Zyra build is Leandra's Rush into Zanya 2nd and Demonic Embrace 3rd. Comet is the keystone with Mana Flow Band, Transcendence, and Scorch. Run Taste of Blood and Relentless Hunter for secondaries. And to wrap it all up, final support who will give you the best chance of climbing out of low elo is Blitzcrank. Pick supports like Blitz are so impactful for solo queue as they can flip a game with one nice play. Hit a hook early on in lane and it can snowball into multiple kills, giving you the ability to roam solo lanes and get them rolling too. A very important strategy to use on Blitzcrank is controlling the lane brush. Don't stand in the middle of lane as it's super easy for the enemy to track your movement. By sitting in brush, you either force the enemy to waste a ward, which then gives your jungler free ganks, and if they don't have a ward, you can fish for hooks as the opponent won't be able to react when the skill shot is thrown from fog. Rush early mobility boots and always look for roam plays to mid lane whenever you're coming off a recall. If nothing's going on, then you just path back towards bot, but making sure you're in a position to be impactful whenever possible is vital. Just like Zyra, Blitz players are making a mistake in regards to their skill order. You want to max W out second instead of E. Most high elo Blitz players max W second, and it even wins about 3% more than E max second. Core Blitz build is Locket or Shirelia's Rush into Zeke 2nd and Knight's Vow or Frozen Heart 3rd. Prioritize Frozen Heart when against heavy AD comps. Run Guardian for the Keystone Rune with Font of Life, Bone Plating, and Unflinching. The best secondaries are Hex Flash and Cosmic Insight. Alright guys, before we wrap this up, let's tell you a little more about SkillCapped. So, we offer a 5-division rank up guarantee and think that's a pretty crazy thing to offer. It's like a gym membership guaranteeing you'll get ripped. Your local gym would go bust if they offered that, right? Not us. We've offered this for years because our service really does work. It works so well, in fact, that we're able to produce by far the largest catalog of premium league guides on the internet. We add over 20 videos a week, with over 1,600 guides curated into over 100 courses no one can compare. We've also sent challenger players into ELO hell 714 times and counting, where they commentate how to carry live. They also respond to all questions asked. Sign up today for as little as $4.99 a month if you are serious about improving. Alright everyone, best of luck with your end of season climbs. We hope this video helps narrow down a few champions that will give you the best chance at achieving the rank you've always wanted. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you back soon.